Alright, this will be a short little video for Mlinko6 in the Reddit thread about FygoOS and getting Portainer installed, and he does not have it installed properly. And I made a video last night, but I've decided to scratch it. I'm going to make a new one in a day or two to show how to get both Portainer and Dockhand installed properly. And Mlinko6, your skepticism is admirable. But it's not Fygo's job to show you how to install Portainer properly. It is Portainer's job to show you that. And while they don't have a how-to video on how to install Portainer under the new FygoOS operating system, they do have one through a link to Wundertech's YouTube site on how to get it installed. So I would say this is proper if Portainer is pointing people here. So they're using a Docker run. My video used a different Docker run structure. This structure, you need to create a folder under the Docker shared folder that I'm not sure you see. You probably do see it someplace here. It says to do that. I don't know where. It's in here someplace. But anyway, that's the proper method. So I want to point out that ZimaOS just recently, with their version 1.7 point whatever version, added Dockhand to their app store that installs as a container to use as a front end. They already had Portainer there, but they didn't always have Portainer in their app store. They answer the demand of their users, and Portainer and Dockhand make installing Docker containers uniform under different NAS OSs. So let me show you this under FygoOS. So FygoOS Docker applet is similar to the Docker applet on my Ugreen NAS when it's running its native OS. It's similar to Container Manager under Synology Container. They're all similar, right? But if you're going to use Portainer in a stack, let's go into this Plex stack. Well, actually, that one's not managed by Portainer. It's managed by Dockhand. This one's managed by Portainer. Where's editor? I can use this same stack under this desktop version of ZornOS that I'm filming under. I can use it on my Synology NAS. I can use it on my Ugreen NAS. I used this as the basis for the Docker Compose script when I had TrueNAS running on my Ugreen hardware, and TrueNAS had Portainer in its app store, which means it, I'm sorry, it had Dockhand, which means it probably had Portainer too. The only thing you have to adjust for any system are the volumes, where the container lives, and where Plex is concerned, where the media lives. You need your own UID and GID numbers to give permission. You need your own time zone if the container has that. And you just have to make sure some things match up. Like, I have 2 Plex containers installed on this system, but only one can run at a time. They both can't be named Plex. One's Plex Extra. So I just made a new video, but I'm going to scrap that too. And I'm telling you why. I found this incredible deal on eBay. It arrives tomorrow. This is going to be my new permanent home for FygoOS. My Plex media server Empire lives on a Synology NAS. It's backed up to a Synology NAS. I have 8 16 terabyte Iron Wolf Pro drives in my DXP 1825 Plus NAS. A few years ago I moved Plex off from a Synology NAS to a little Unraid Docker host install on a 14th gen Intel processor and an Asus NUC, a 14 Pro NUC, fabulous hardware transcoding power. And then everything backs up to my older DS 1520 Plus NAS that has 2 expansion units added, running a mixed SHR2 array of 5 8 terabyte Iron Wolf drives and 6 12 terabyte drives. I can't leave that ecosystem. The ecosystem serves me fine, but I am going to start recommending FygoOS over Unraid for someone who wants to build their own NAS to run things like Plex Server or other things. So this is coming tomorrow evening. Sunday I'll probably start setting it up with FygoOS, and within a day or two I'll do fresh tutorial videos on everything. I already have a setup video on this Ugreen NAS, but I'll do a fresh setup video on this Dell system. I'm not sure what drives I'm using yet, and I do have a 32 gigabyte DDR RAM 5 kit to swap into it. I don't know if this is two 8 gigabyte sticks or one 16 gigabyte sticks, but I have replacement RAM, so everything meshed. My leftover RAM is from my original system build in 2022, and then I upgraded to 64 gigs before the AI apocalyptic pricing. So you'll have a video coming, but you can basically use these instructions, and I'll show you quickly how to do that. So you just need this, and you need to create a folder before you run it after you SSH in. So FygoOS, we'll get out of Docker here, we'll go into Files. You've probably seen this admin view, but if not, you click into it. You click your volume where you install Docker. In my case, it's on the NVMe RAID 1 volume. You see the Docker shared folder, and let's point this out for everybody else that's watching. I put my media folder under my files. FygoOS does things a little bit different. They have team folders for everybody, my files. A traditional like Synology or QNAP or even Ugreen, you create shared folders and then you give users access to it individually. I'm never going to use a NAS in the method FygoOS has set up, but I'm sure it might be helpful for some small offices or even a family. It's just, as a single proprietor, let's say, that's not how I'm going to use it. So whether this system works better for people than a traditional NAS, I don't know. I'm not going to discover if that's true or not. It doesn't harm me, doesn't hurt me, doesn't slow me down. So here's my shared media folder. It's all public domain media. But the admin view, I can see that hidden Docker shared folder that FygoOS put there when you install the Docker app. So once you're in here, you just have to do new folder and you type Portainer-SE, all lowercase. Once you do that, you can SSH in. Get rid of that. System settings, click SSH, turn it on, keep it off by default. Once it's on, with Linux or Mac, you open up Terminal and you format this for yourself. With Windows, you'd have to install PuTTY first to then SSH in. I gave up Windows in 2006, so I can't explain how to do it, but there's probably a video or instructions out there. So you replace your admin username. Mine would be admin, lowercase. You replace this with your local IP address. Mine would be 192.168.68.76 without the port number, which looks just like this. You SSH in, you answer the fingerprint question, you put your password in, and then you copy and paste this, which is exactly the same as Wundertech's website. This is where I pasted it from. And in a terminal, let's open up a terminal. You can't use Control-V to paste. It looks like nothing happened, but if I backspace, I see these funny characters. You have to right-click to paste and hit Enter. I don't know what PuTTY's like. Again, I'm not a Windows person, gave Windows up. So then you have to claim Portainer. And I know I'm like doing a verbal tutorial, but that might be helpful to somebody. So I like, where am I? That's how you install Dockhand, but you don't have to create the folder first, you can just run this because the container data lives someplace else. I like the Marius hosting website because he has a lot of Docker tutorials on how to get things going. And for both Portainer and Dockhand, after the install is up, the container is running, he shows you how to set each up. But Portainer is really easy. But because I've done it, I can't do it now. You click here, and then up here someplace, it'll say Add Environment. You just click it. You're done. You can add registries if you want. And the Marius hosting site gives you 3 registries you should add, just like they do for Dockhand. So, my new skeptical friend, Mlinko6. Before too long, I'll have a video on a fresh install on fresh hardware showing how to properly, and I'm going to stick to the word properly install both Portainer and Dockhand, all in the same video. Trust me, you want to use Dockhand. You just want to use Dockhand. So, Dockhand can do some cool things, like from dashboard, you can click the gear icon for the environmental settings to edit. And then from the general tab, you can scroll down. Where am I here? No, maybe I'm in the wrong spot. Is it updates? Yes, you can enable a scheduled update check. I don't have it enabled for this, but if I turn it on, it defaults to 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m. it'll check for updates, and when I log into Dockhand and check containers, I'll see which one need to be updated. You can automatically update containers. My YouTube channel is Plex server centric, so I would update Plex manually if you have friends and family on board, because believe you me, I have all my friends and family on board my Plex server. You'd be surprised who might be streaming an episode of Friends at 3 or 4 in the morning. The container won't be down for long, but I wouldn't do that to anybody, so I'd update manually. But you can update containers automatically when new images are available. And if you're checking at 4 and it finds a new image, that's when it will update. I like to see the updates, so just turning on the automatic check is enough. Save that. And then if you've got a bunch of containers going, like let's go to my Dockhand for my Synology NAS. I've got all these going. When I log in, I know what updates there are since 4 a.m. of the day I'm on. So you want to check for updates, you go to the container tab, check for updates. And if you have updates, they'll be a different color, they'll be highlighted, and you can update all. Portainer. Now I used to love Portainer. Let's see. So, if I remember right, you go to container, and usually the service running told you it had an update. So then you would, I got 2 things going on here. I got both Plex containers running, which shouldn't be. Okay, so if you wanted to update a container, the actual service told you it needed to update. You'd come into Portainer, you'd stop it. When it was stopped, you click Recreate, you slide the Repull Image tab, and you click Recreate, and that would pull the next version and start the container back up. So tell me it's just not so much easier just to go into Dockhand and click Check for Updates. That's how Unraid does it. Okay, so I'll end this, but I'll have a longer video coming with a fresh install of both Docker services and Mlinko6. If you have any questions until I get those video out, feel free to let me know, and I'll try to address them in the video. But yeah, the proper install is what Portainer tells us to do. FygoOS is great so far, and I have a feeling the team will want to add a container install for both Dockhand and Portainer. But, buddy, there's no reason to use Portainer, but let your Portainer flag fly if that's your goal. Okay, so this is long enough, and it's just informative. It's not really a tutorial, and I'll be out with a better tutorial. And live long and prosper, FygoOS. I'm going to be recommending you over Unraid for a self-install NAS as a basis of a Plex server. That's how much I like it after the first month and a half. And they gifted me, I can't forget to say, they gifted me a lifetime membership or subscription, or license they gifted me. No strings attached, but I was already liking FygoOS and contributing to the community before they did that. Thanks for watching, and happy Plexing, and I hope you're enjoying FygoOS.